Hey, man. You want to build some muscle? You do? That's good, man.
Hey, what's up, guys? Sean Nalawani here, SeanNal.com, BodyTransformationTruth.com, and I'm going to be doing one more supplement review here and then get back to my regular training and nutrition topics. But a few people out there requested this one, and I really wanted to do it because these supplements come from one of the biggest fitness channels on YouTube with a huge outreach, a lot of influence, but again, I couldn't really find any accurate objective reviews of them, so I figured I'd post one up here for those who just want the unbiased facts. So the supplements being reviewed here are Creagains and Pregains, and they were created by the Hodge twins of Twin Muscle Workout, which I'm sure a lot of you guys are familiar with. Before I go further here, keep in mind, guys, that these reviews are put up with good intentions, with the goal being to give out honest information to help the people out there make better decisions. And it has nothing at all to do with hating on anybody or trying to put anybody down. People are searching for information on this topic, and I'm just providing that information that they're looking for. And if there's anything that I say in this video that you think is factually incorrect, then please feel free to post it in the comments below, because I do read and respond to pretty much all of the questions that I get. So the first supplement here is Creagains. Creagains is actually a very simple product. All it really is flavored creatine monohydrate. Now, creatine is a great supplement. It's easily the most effective natural muscle building compound out there. I do use it. I do recommend it. So there's nothing wrong with the Creagains product itself. The big issue here is just the cost. You're getting 4 grams of creatine per serving and 60 servings per bottle, which is going to work out to 240 grams of creatine per bottle for $33. So without the shipping cost coming into play, you're paying about 14 cents per gram of creatine, and that works out to being about 5 to 7 times higher than what you would pay for a typical pure creatine monohydrate product. Now, Creagains is flavored, so you are paying a bit of a premium for that. But keep in mind that creatine itself is completely tasteless, and you can easily mix it with anything you want, whether that's juice, water, coffee, a pre-workout, a protein shake. It's really not hard to just add a small teaspoon of creatine to one of your drinks at some point during the day. And so paying 5 to 7 times the cost just for some added flavoring doesn't really make sense, in my opinion. Now, if in buying this, you just want to support the Hodge twins, you're aware of the points that I'm making, that's totally fine. But keep in mind that you can also just get pure 100% Creapure creatine monohydrate for about 2 to 3 cents per gram at most supplement stores. For example, on bodybuilding.com, you can get 2,000 grams of Creapure from Optimum Nutrition for $40. That's going to last you over a year, and you're going to pay less than 2 cents per gram. And I'll link that in the description box below if you do want to check it out, because that's what I use personally. And the second supplement is the Pregains pre-workout, which honestly, after looking at the label here, I was kind of a bit confused at the ingredients that are included and the dosages, because the formula here is kind of bizarre, for lack of a better word. The Pregains pre-workout is based off of a proprietary blend, which, as I mentioned in my last video and as I've talked about before, means that you really have no way of knowing what's actually in it. You get the total volume per scoop and you get the ingredient list, but you don't get the actual individual dosage per ingredient. Now, the reason why companies do this in most cases is so that they can go ahead and list a bunch of ingredients on the label, but then underdose them, and most people won't really know, and that's just a way to reduce production cost. But if you do understand the proper dosage for the ingredients, then you can just look at the total volume per scoop, and you can usually get a pretty good idea of kind of what's going on in there. So in the case of Pregains, the size of the blend is 1.8 grams, and the first ingredient is beta-alanine. Now, notwithstanding the fact that beta-alanine itself isn't even really a pre-workout ingredient to begin with, because it doesn't have any immediate effects on performance, the typical research study dose falls between 3.2 to 6.4 grams. So with a 1.8 gram total serving size, it's literally impossible that you could be getting enough. And that's 1.8 grams for all of the ingredients included and not just the beta-alanine. But moving on, the second ingredient is caffeine at 275 milligrams. There's really nothing wrong with that. For a pre-workout, that's pretty standard, but caffeine itself is dirt cheap, and you can really just buy it separately for literally pennies per serving. So the caffeine itself isn't really adding any significant value here. And then after the caffeine, the third ingredient is agmatine sulfate. And since the ingredients in a proprietary blend have to be listed in order of potency, you know right there that you're getting less than 275 milligrams of the agmatine because it's listed after the caffeine. So aside from the fact that agmatine is already sort of a gray area ingredient to begin with because it's not really research proven, the proper dose is still going to be minimum half a gram for bodybuilding purposes and usually somewhere between 1 to 1.5 grams. So just based off of the total scoop volume and those first three ingredients alone, you can pretty clearly see that Pregains is a fairly significantly underdosed product. And again, the most prominent ingredient is beta-alanine, which isn't even really a pre-workout ingredient to begin with. And on top of that, you can't just take an extra scoop of Pregains to get a higher dose, because if you did that, then the caffeine content would become dangerously high for you, and the cost per serving would shoot way up. So honestly, there's really not much more to say on that. For people out there who are going to say, why don't you go ahead and use the product and see it for yourself? There's honestly no point in doing that because as long as a pre-workout formula has that standard caffeine dose in there, you're always going to get that strength and energy boost no matter what. And the feeling that you get with pre-workouts is so subjective, and it can be different each time even depending on your mood or your diet or how well you slept. So there's really no way to decipher which ingredients are working and which ones aren't. As long as that caffeine is in there, it will basically make up for the rest of the formula, even if there's nothing else useful included. We can objectively look at the scoop size, we can look at the ingredients included, and we can know right there that it's not properly dosed, period. And given that, it just doesn't make sense to purchase it, in my opinion, because there are a lot of other superior options out there. Now again, if you understand the points I'm making and you want to support the Hodge Twins anyway by buying this, that's completely your choice, and I don't see any problem with that. But just keep in mind that you can also make your own homemade blend that's going to be a lot cheaper, it's going to be way more effective, and I'll link a previous video that I did on that in the description box below if you want to check it out. But guys, keep in mind that this is all just advice and you can do whatever the fuck you want to do.